Something I've talked about quite a bit in social media is how the way these studios and directors and everyone continues to come out over the years with the statement of, well, if you don't like this casting, well, then you're just a bigot. If you didn't like Riva in Obi-Wan, then you're just a racist. If you didn't like, um, wow, Marvel, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. I didn't even watch it. If you didn't like Miss Marvel, then you're a misogynist. If you don't like it, just it's getting tiresome, but it keeps getting said by these studios. She-Hulk director, thank you, Bounding into Comics. She-Hulk director Kat, whatever, blames criticism of Marvel series CGI on our culture's belief in its ownership of women's bodies. Get fucking bent. My God, I'm sorry. This is the just, I'm sorry, I'm tired of this crap. And what very well may go down as one of the most baffling defenses of a Marvel product in all of history, She Hulk Attorney at Law, dumb title, director Kat has asserted that the widespread criticism of Disney Plus series CGI has nothing to do with its quality, but rather our culture's belief in its ownership of women's bodies. I don't think I could have face palmed harder than I did when I read that. I couldn't even read that. It took me. It, I had to read that out loud. I couldn't believe this was said. No, the first trailer for She-Hulk for Disney's Must She TV was piss poor. It was bad. It was just like I'm not someone that sits there and I don't usually analyze and break down this CGI, that CGI. I just sit down, I turn my brain off, and I watch movies, and even I'm starting to notice the crap. And it was dog water. And then the second trailer came out, and I have to admit, a lot of people admitted it was a lot better. The CGI was a lot better, but it was still bad. But to sit there and say and claim that criticism over the CGI quality is because misogyny, like what? Shared her opinion about. I don't even want to. In terms of the CGI being criticized, I think that has to do with our culture's belief in the ownership of women's bodies. This is just come. I think a lot of the quote. This is a quote. I think a lot of the critique comes from the feeling that they're able to tear apart the CGI woman. There's a lot of talk about her body type, and we base it on Olympian athletes and not bodybuilders. Nobody, I haven't heard really anybody criticize what she looks like. She Hulk is, I mean, if I got to say anything, everything I saw in the trailers, I, I, I was never a fan of the She Hulk comic book, but I knew what she looked like. I knew how she changed and what. And the body type that they have in the series is pretty damn spot on. I don't think anybody can really criticize how, what body type they went with. But it was the look, everything. It looked out of place. It didn't fit in the scenes, like her face right here. Maybe it'll be better when the series comes out. Who knows? We'll have to remain. We'll wait and see. But ah, navigates the complicated life of a single 30-something attorney who also happens to be a green 6'7" superpowered Hulk. Yeah, they changed her origin story too. Why? Don't know. Don't. A lot of some people are criticizing. They've some of the main criticism I've seen in the trailer is that She-Hulk is just better at the Hulk at everything. I have a bad habit of playing devil's advocate. The part in the trailer where the Hulk is trying to balance on something and she's just pulling off yoga poses and all this other stuff. Okay. I don't think it's. Of course, it is, but it isn't a big deal. But on one hand, an argument can be made that the Hulk had constant difficulty trying to figure out, trying to learn how to deal with the changes in his body, changing his mood, and trying to essentially control the Hulk. Bruce Banner trying to control the Hulk. The difference being She-Hulk having someone there with her to teach her, to show her, to guide her in one path. And again, devil's advocate is involuntary for me, so don't come at me. I don't care. Having someone there to guide you, things will be easier for you. Should they be perfect? Absolutely not. Um, the comments made in the trailer, one question is how far along is she in that training? Is the Hulk trying to push her to do training more than she thinks? How do I say this? Is the Hulk pushing her over and over and over again? How long was that training? Was it months? Was it 1 month? Was it weeks? Was it a year? In isolation, just the two of them on wherever the hell they were on the island and stuff. We don't know. So coming out, being overly critical, I think. But then again, when when the mainstream entertainment has been feeding people nothing but the message over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, it is very difficult not to expect the same thing from the same companies. So I can completely understand why a lot of people are just have that knee jerk reaction when she says, I know how to do all this stuff. Why am I still here? Of course, the reaction's going to be extremely negative when she comes out and does the slap, and she's just it's so easy for you. But to sit there and completely ignore everything everyone is saying, what they're actually saying, they're criticizing the CGI, not the look. Like this, no, that's She-Hulk. That looks like She-Hulk. It's a piss poor CGI She-Hulk, but it's She-Hulk. To say otherwise is gaslighting. It's it's completely and totally trying to divert all the attention, not all the attention, trying to divert criticism onto something that is just, it's BS, absolute, complete, and total BS. And just, it's ridiculous. And people are tired of it. The fans are tired of it. And they're not going to watch your crap. If you keep pushing this message, this bullshit message right here, people are not going to watch anymore. It's why you're losing money. It's why you're barely making a profit. And if you don't, if Hollywood, if the mainstream entertainment doesn't wake up, well, we'll just have we'll just have amateurs. Just have the content creators entertaining us. I've cut the cord. You should too. I've I found it funny. I've seen some criticism on this part. If you watch the trailer, she takes off her shoes because she likes her shoes, and she doesn't. Kind of sad that you're like, well, that's a woman. I'm sorry, that's a woman. I mean, she spent a lot of money on her shoes. Yeah, it's a bad joke, maybe, but okay, it's not entirely unexpected at all. So we'll see what the series goes. We'll see what the series goes. Holy crap, I'm terrible at this.